Kimmitt, he's a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Middle East Policy, and he joins me now live from Washington, D.C. Welcome, Mark. We've heard the U.S. there express outrage, but how much further do you think they'll go in their reaction?
Well, I'm not sure, and that is the relevant question. This is a new administration, has not really got its feet on the ground, has not set its red lines. If he being Tony Blinken, says we will hold those responsible accountable, what does that mean? So I suspect right now there's a lot of give and take going on in the national security discussions between CENTCOM, the Secretary of Defense, the State Department, and the National Security Council, candidly, to find out what are we going to do.
Because if the nationality of the contractor who died is confirmed to be American, what could the reaction of the Biden administration be? Because the Trump administration had said that the death of a U.S. contractor would be a red line and provoke U.S. escalation in Iraq.
Yeah, I think that that would really be parsing the problem if the national security structure said, well, this isn't an American, so it doesn't matter as much as if it was. This person was working for the U.S. government, to my understanding. In many ways, he became the responsibility of the United States government, and his life should be worth no less than that of an American working as a contractor over there.
And this is described as a rare attack in Erbil. What do you think was the motivation?
Well, first of all, it's not been a rare attack. We've seen these kind of rocket attacks before. It could be any number of motivations. There are some that would say this is simply a way for these groups to show that they not only can attack in Baghdad, but they can also attack in Kurdistan as well, because there's an American military base up there. It could also be completely unrelated to the American force presence there, and it might be a simple warning that the additional operations going on against the YPG inside Syria have consequences. But if we take the group that made the announcement at its word, obviously the issue is not happening the issue is that it didn't happen in Kurdistan, but the fact is that that is one of the 3 American bases remaining. And if it was a pro-Iranian militia, they certainly have more opportunity to operate against the American base in Kurdistan and in Baghdad than they do in Anbar province.
And how much of a priority do you think Joe Biden will give Iraq in his first 100 days?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. With everything else that he's got going on, is Iraq going to be a priority? I think the only indicator is that they brought Brett McGurk back on to be their special envoy, to be their national security representative for that region. He has a very aggressive view towards this. He's very close to Tony Blinken and other members of the administration. So I certainly wouldn't put Iraq at one of the top 3 priorities, but certainly maybe in the top 10 to 15 of the priorities.
Mark Kimmitt, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Middle East Policy, thank you so much for your time.